Hi there, this is my Child of Alara deck tech. So, first we have Child of Alara, blows up non-land permanents whenever it dies. So I run one basic land here, which is an island. I run 8 fetch lands. Got Flooded Strand, Polluted Delta, Bloodstained Mire, Marsh Flats, Misty Rainforest, Verdant Catacombs, Windswept Heath, and Wooded Foothills. I have all 10 of the shocks here, so I have Blood Crypt, Steam Fens, Hallowed Fountain, Godless Shrine, Breeding Pool, Sacred Foundry, Temple Garden, Overgrown Tomb, Water Grave, and Stomping Ground. And I run 5 of the old duels. So I've got Badlands, Taiga, Plateau, Savannah, and Tropical Island. And next up we get to the multiple color correction lands, so Forbidden Orchard, Reflecting Pool, and Command Tower. Next up we have 3 cycle lands to help withdraw. So we have Secluded Steppe, Barren Moor, and Forgotten Cave. Next we have Teleria West, which is more of a tutor land here. Stuff like Coliseum ends up becoming something along the lines of a Ancestral Recall with all of the Grave Recursion in the stack. Halimar Depths, really great utility land. Boseiju really helps us get the win condition going on. Strip Mine, blow up a pesky land. Riftstone Portal, this usually tends to be one of the Entomb targets just because it adds so much value to your lands. Ancient Tomb, get that early acceleration going. Serra Sanctum, just more acceleration with enchantments. Academy Ruins, really great for recurring our powerful artifacts that people tend to take care of in the early game, such as Crucible or something along the lines of our Soul Ring. Valras Stronghold, really helpful for getting our Azusa or the Oracle Moldiah back on top of the library, or the Child. Thespian Stage goes really well with Dark Depths. Get that combo off. Vesuva will usually come in as a copy of Maze of Ith that I have here. Next, we move on to the draw spells here. So, first the standard Ponder. Brainstorm works really well with fetches and other ways to shuffle our library to hide away a couple cards that we don't want, or if somebody's trying to look at our hand, we can use a Brainstorm to hide away some pretty good cards. Dark Confidant helps with the card draw. Doesn't really ping us for much, considering the fact that we have a bunch of lands and a bunch of 1, 2, and 3 drops here. Frantic Search helps us with the helps us a little bit with mana acceleration. Untaps 3 lands, which is very important. The draw 2, discard 2 is also very relevant in case we have some dead cards in our hand. Phyrexian Arena, just basic powerful draw. Rhystic Study, really love this card. You tend to draw a lot from it. Not many people like it. Necropotence, skip our draw step so we don't draw out. We can pay a life, get a card at the end of the turn. Really good. Now we're moving on to the tutors. I run about 18 of these tutors. So first up is Crop Rotation. Sacrifice a land, get a really powerful land that's going to help us win the game. Pretty good. Gamble, search for any card. People like to call it a Vamp Tutor. For me, it's more like a Demonic Tutor with the drawback of randomly discarding a card. So taking quite the gamble there. Worldly Tutor. Creature Tutor, really good. Enlightened Tutor, usually we'll go for a Soul Ring or Rhystic Study, or maybe a Ghostly Prison or Propaganda, depending on what the situation's like. Mystical Tutor, search for an instant, sorcery, or interrupt spell, pretty good. Vampiric Tutor, really great, get any card, pay 2 life, that's not a big deal in EDH. Entomb, usually hits Riftstone Portal. In some cases, if somebody's trying to Bajuka Bog my graveyard, and Kozilek's in my library than I will Entomb a Kozilek to save my yard. Expedition map. Just a powerful land tutor. So I've got a couple of cards here on the side. Those are my technical sideboard cards for the EDH, because I do run 2 wishes. So Living Wish will get us a creature or a land from our sideboard. Burning Wish will get us in a sorcery from our sideboard here. So they're really good tutors. I like them. I like them better than some of my other tutors because it allows me to play a more diverse game of Magic. Sylvan Scry, powerful land tutor. Demonic tutor, just the basic staple for mono black or any black deck in general. Eldorami's Call, a stronger version of Worldly Tutor. Really like it. Knight of the Reliquary, tutors for a land, sack a Plains or Forest, gets bigger with lands in the yard. Intuition helps us pump up our Knight of the Reliquary if we need to, or helps us get a card that we really need. Idyllic Tutor, search for an enchantment. Realms Enchanted, the really powerful version of the lands version of Gifts Ungiven. Really love this. I will usually go for Vesuva, Thespian Stage, Maze of Ith, and Dark Depths. Defense of the Heart. We're not going to be running too many creatures, so this will help us get our big fatties early. Mirror's Guile helps with the top deck manipulation for Dark Confidant triggers, or determines as to whether or not we want to shuffle away our library before the draw step with our fetch. Sensei's Divining Top, some more top deck manipulation. So Sylvan Library, I also consider it top deck manipulation because you do draw an additional 2 cards, and if you draw 3 cards, you can decide to put 2 back, and then just kind of shuffle them away and just kind of stack some cards. Scroll Rack, top deck manipulation here. Mox Diamond for ramp. Soul Ring, ramp. Burgeoning helps us with the acceleration. Exploration helps us with ramp. Azusa, extra land drops. Oracle Moldaya, extra land drops. Now we're moving on to the more controlling cards here. So I have Cyclonic Rift, Supreme Verde, can't be countered, really like that, and Obliterate, can't be countered. A lot of people hate this card. I like it because the CMC in this deck tends to be really low, so it's not really too much of a setback for you as long as you have a land in your hand. You should be doing okay. Greater Ormancy to help protect your enchantments, because your enchantments are a pretty big deal in this deck. Solitary Confinement helps prevent damage to you, because you do tend to be the big target at the table. Propaganda, really helpful for protecting you. Same with Ghostly Prison. Privileged Position gives all your other permanents hexproof. Really good when you have that and you have Greater Ormancy out, because then all your enchantments have, all your enchantments have Shroud, and then all your permanents have hexproof. Or all your other permanents have hexproof. Karmic Justice, really good. I like it because it's kind of a payback for somebody using Terastodon or any kind of destruction on your side of the field. Zernor helps us gain the life back. Oath of Druid, really helpful because you don't run too many creatures, and odds are you're going to roll into a Kozilek or an Avacyn. Life from the Loam, a little bit of a draw engine here, and it dredges for get some enchantments in our yard. Helps with Replenish to get our enchantments back. Eternal Witness, really powerful card. I do love the fact that you can get any card back from your graveyard. Crucible of Worlds helps us get the land drops back. Avacyn, just kind of a big thing that makes our things indestructible, so when you have Avacyn out and you obliterate, it doesn't really affect you. Kozilek, really powerful. I tend to usually cast it for its full mana cost. Blightsteel Colossus, another one of those big fat targets for the win condition. And then Nicol Bolas is another alternative win condition. It's a slow one, but it does help us maintain control. Next up here, we have our sideboard. So to start off with is Kessig Wolfrun. These 3 lands are usually the options for Living Wish. So Kessig Wolfrun to make our commander big, or to make the knight big. Glacial Chasm to help us delay the game. High Market as kind of an option for a sack outlet for our Alara. And then the next 5 cards are sorceries. So Wheel of Fate, just in case we want to draw a lot of cards. Decree of Pain, in case we wanted to draw a bunch of cards and then kill all the board. Wrath of God, standard creature destruction. Armageddon, destroy all lands. Sometimes that's viable. And then Decree of Annihilation if we're getting really desperate and we just want to reset the entire game here.